mic. Okay, so this is us live, right?
Yep.
Wow, we're back, man. How was your weekend? I had a long weekend in Huntsville, Alabama. Actually, it was a fast weekend in Huntsville, Alabama. Anyway, you had a good weekend?
Yeah, good weekend.
Didn't do anything special?
No. I went to a couple outings with my girlfriend, and that's it.
No, I gotta keep that on the down low. I drank a little too much on Friday. Told my kids that if all 5 of them agree to go to Vegas, that I would take them to Vegas.
Oh my gosh.
Thinking actually at the time that none of them would agree. Like, there's always one out of the 5 that doesn't want to do anything. So I was like, it's not me saying no. Well, guess what happened?
Everyone said yes.
Colluded to get each other to say yes. So
now you're going to Vegas.
I'm going to Vegas in April with these kids. Yeah, so.
That's awesome.
All right. So let's try to get back to sort of where we were last week here. And I think we were at a point where David basically showed us how to use Nats correctly.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was reflecting on what Copilot gave us.
Mm-hmm.
How dangerous was that when you think about it? Copilot gave us code on Nats. It worked. We thought it worked. But we now know that when this was going to go in production, let's say, that it wasn't going to really work as sort of designed. And so here's a case where Copilot gave us code. It compiled, it built, it ran, it felt right, and it was really...
Those were all wrong.
And how many hours were we going to lose at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as much as I'm loving Copilot, these little moments start to scare the hell out of me. So we'll see here. But so as we get back here, today is going to be the day we refactor the client.
Yes.
Now, to save a tiny bit of time in between the break, I started looking at all the different terminal packages that were out there again. The one that I've used historically has been very low level.
Mm-hmm.
So I would paint my own screen and do all my own work. And I figured there had to be a better way to do that in today's world.
Yeah.
So if I go to Hack, we go to Hack. I found these 2 packages, T-Cell and T-View. And sort of what was nice about T-View is that it gave you those like flexible layouts, the ones that sort of flow, and you could put components inside of them and they resize.
Okay.
So I'm going to run this in a second, and then we'll sort of go through the code. I didn't wire anything in really. I just tested. I just sort of tested it at a really simple level here. But if we switch to not connect 4, this one, and I do go run that. Okay, so none of this is wired, right? But it was like testing that if we make this the highlighted one, I can do users. And the idea would be to change the user, what we're seeing, right? I think you can even click on it. And then this would be the entire chat. And it already gave you a text. I have like a text area that already scrolls here. And then a submit button. The cursor doesn't change, but hit button, hit button, hit button, hit button.
Got it. Okay.
And I think we can wire in an enter key here. And then, you know, it's just some message, and you can type that in, or you can't hit back. I just tried to do a shift command back, right? But I forgot I'm in a terminal. But some message. And I didn't wire in submit or anything there. But I thought this would be a pretty cool, and it resizes. So if I resizes a little bit, right?
Oh, okay.
It's good enough, bro, for
Yeah.
what we need, right? For a little terminal. And if I hit escape, it's supposed to die. It's not dying here. So whatever, we'll figure that out. But for me, it's going to be good enough. We don't have to go crazier. And so we need a decent client in order to do everything else that I want to do with a decentralized sort of authentication. So let's just look at the pieces here. I just created some silly content to fill that in, right? So you create a new TView application. Then this is the list. So you saw me embed that on the left, right? I just added 2 users for fun. Then the text view is what we saw that I was scrolling, all that text, right? Align left, word wrap, set change. If it changes or something, I guess redraw, I don't know. Border, set a title. Then the submit button, which I had to fight with the styling really at some level to get it to look the way it is, which is fine. And maybe in between, when we're done today, Kevin, like if you have time tomorrow before Thursday, I don't have a problem with you sort of playing with this stuff a little bit. It's not the big part of the show. But again, what you saw is pretty good. And then if you hit the button, this is what happened, right? I added a new thing to this text view. You can see use fprintf for that.
Yeah.
So this thing implements that IO reader. The text area is this thing here. And I didn't do anything. My guess is
And that's for
that's where you're
actually
typing
input.
in your question, right? But I would bet you that there's a something with the keyboard in here too. I didn't look. Like when you do the button, there was a set selected function. I don't know if there's a set. Yeah, I mean you don't want really selected, but there's probably a way to capture enter in here. I saw something they had a bunch of examples at the end of the day. So we got to look at that. I think in the text area, there's probably a way of handling, like get input capture, mouse handler, input handler.
Okay, so I can play with that.
Yeah, so we can hit enter or something like that. Like I think these are things that you can play with. See, set input handler. So this right here.
Switch event key. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because right now to hit escape, I'm sort of doing this already, right? So I kind of did this at the flex level, but honestly, like if you hit enter in this, you would want that to be like hitting submit, right? So ideally something like, not a scroll to end, obviously, but let's just say right now if key equals enter, I don't know what we want to do, but that would be the function to call, and it would help if I put an if there, wouldn't it? And then that should be the end of the function. This is why I hate putting functions inside of these things. But it looks like you have to return something, which is another reason. So I think if that happened, I could do the same thing I did here, right? I'm just curious. Enter hit, right? Let's just see if that works, and that would be sort of cool. Again, it didn't really shut down, but hello. Ooh, I just broke this, like big time. Yeah, I just broke that big time, because now I returned, maybe what I have to do is return this if it's not that. And I didn't really want to work on this, but I just thought it would be quick. Let's just see the bottom of it. No, it didn't work. So we're not going to deal with this right now, but it's something that you could look at sort of later, okay?
Got it.
Again, who knows if I screwed that up with this down here, and that's not really good either, right? So other than the escape that I wanted to do an add stop or a control Q. So this might all be bad too, and I'll have you play with that so you can hit enter and other things. And then you have the app set root, enable mouse, you run, and panic is bad, but and then here's the layout. So you start with a flex layout. I add the list to the left. I hate these dots. This is so not Go, but
Yeah, that's
I hate it, but
interesting.
that's like whatever. And then I add a new flex for the middle. I set the direction to be row, so we can have rows on top of rows.
Mm-hmm.
Then I added the text view, which was up on top. And then to deal with the input box and the button, I did another flex. I made that column, so we're controlling columns. And then I added the text area and the button. And then these numbers were about fixed size and proportion. So you can see here, I said 90% text area, 10% button.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said 20% for the column. And then I think 0, 1 just meant like do the rest or something like that. So, yeah. So we got to deal with,
Okay, so there.
but that's stuff that I think you can deal with. And then I just wrote that corporate text to the text view.
Got it.
And we ended up with this, which now we need to sort of fill in the blanks here. So that's in our hack, right? And this is sort of our client. So what we might want to start doing maybe, because we've got this hack function here, is maybe we could just keep everything in main right now until we got to do, well, let's not keep everything in main right now. Main should just be for sort of startup and sort of shut down.
Okay.
And then maybe for the UI stuff, so do we want to go really crazy and sort of build a package for the UI, or sort of, so let's do this for now. I'm going to add a new folder called, so we calling the tool client, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to have another sort of client package in there that has the rest of this code here. So, because we're going to need to do a bunch of stuff later on, I need another package with a bunch of files in it that main will call into just to organize stuff. We can organize things by file. I don't think we have to do it at a package level. I just don't know what to call this package right now because we're calling the tool client. So maybe we'll just call this chat too. Let's call it chat. Okay. And for now, I'm going to add a file called view.go. So far, this looks like a containment package because I don't have a chat.go, but we're gonna end up with a chat.go here. And I know a few things, right? I know I'm gonna need some sort of function. Maybe it's called init view. Yeah, I don't know if it has to return anything. And I think we could take a bit of what I did here and clean it up because obviously there's some stuff here that we don't need. Now, the set root, however, I think blocks. So we're gonna have to do a couple things here. Because once we're blocked in set root, everything's gonna be controlled there. And I just wanna do the init. And then we probably need a function that will run. So maybe there's a type called view for right now.
Okay.
And it manages this new, tview. Yeah, you're gonna do this to me. God, I don't know how new developers handle this because this used to not ever really be a problem that it couldn't.
It didn't recognize it?
No, it's bad, dude. For me, it's bad. All right. I feel like we went backwards somewhere. So if I do that, right, we have this idea of a view.
Okay.
And then I have this idea of a init. Or right now I'm going to call it, let's call it new view. Okay? And a new view will return a pointer to a view because it's going to be an API at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the idea will be to take this last piece of code and call it like run, and it's going to block. Maybe it returns an error, and it's going to be a method of view, and we're not going to return panic here, obviously. But v.app, and I mean, honestly, you could just do this for all I care. For now, it needs something called flex, so we'll add that to the thing.
Got it.
It's going to need our flex, and our flex is a T flex, right? So I'll add a flex. That way, this will be a v.flex. So like run will, that's what they'll have to do to sort of start the app. We'll see if that works. And then here, a new view will create a view. Here's our list, right?
Yeah.
We can even just keep that data in there for now. This doesn't have to change. This really doesn't have to change, though we're going to rewrite the code for this function. So what is the signature of a function? It's a function that takes nothing and returns nothing, right?
Uh-huh.
So maybe here, you know, we say button handler is this,
Okay.
right? And we're gonna do that. So you pass in the handler function you want for that. And now on the flex, let's say we keep that, right? I do need the app stop, but honestly, all I care about with app stop right now is sort of this. So why don't we just leave that for now, okay? And this is a function that returns, oh, you can see here, I did the same thing. I just returned the event if we didn't process it. I don't need this. But notice that we need the text view in order to write anything to it, right?
Yeah.
And the text view is this. So we're going to have to hold the text view. Okay, we're going to need that. And we're going to need an API to add something to that. Okay, so I would say so far that this is pretty good, right? Have a view that returns a new view that sets this up. Then the other person has to call run. And then we're going to have some other Go routine outside of main that, and I don't know if this is thread safe, we're going to end up finding out, but you know, something like should be add text, write text.
For each message.
For anything that comes in, right?
Okay.
And I don't necessarily, now, you see they have a set text.
Previously contained text will be removed.
And we didn't want that.
No.
So what they were showing in the examples was using an fprint, say line, where the text view was an IO writer, and this was a message, right? And I don't think we need the draw because we added this set change, right? Anytime it's changed, it automatically does a draw. So my guess is we could use write text for that. And we will need probably a clear. And right. Yeah, write text, the only place we write text. And the clear text might be the v dot text view dot, oh, it has a clear. See?
All text from the buffer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least we've got an API here that we can use. We'll try it right now in our main. So this could be a beginning of being able to do some stuff. So now in main here, I'm going to keep our hack function, obviously, right? But the idea would be chat
Dot new view.
new view, right? We need a button handler. So we'll say button handler is a function, and I'll steal this again from my hack. Ooh, okay, here's our first sort of, so now I've got a chicken and the egg problem because I can't write a button handler without already having a view, right? So here's the first chicken and the egg.
Okay,
So
need,
what we might
yeah.
need to do in order to do this is have a, it's kind of a smell to me. So button handler, right? Yeah, no, that's good. And now here we can do the v dot, basically, where is that? Here's the button. Did I get rid of it? Oh yeah, I got rid of it in here. But if I come back here, I can see this. So now I got to keep the button too, right? In order to write this code, I need to keep the button. So let's keep the button. Let's keep the button. And now, I just saw some messages because I've been so. What does he mean I turn it off?
those from before.
Oh, okay, so.
You're missing. Yep.
Yeah, I'm missing one of those. So now the idea is v dot button selected, v dot text view, hit button. Now we can sort of wire that in here, right? So now the idea is that we get a view,
Okay.
v dot set
Button.
that handler button, right? Now we haven't. So we're going to clean this up because in order to do this, I think it's going to be bad because you don't have access to what V has access to, right? So what we're going to need to do is the following. Type button handler, which is a function that takes a text view, takes one of these. So we're going to define a type called button handler that takes a text view. And we'll say this is what you have to give us. Now, the problem here, it's really not a problem actually, because if they give us this, we promise to call that with the T view. All right. So you see what we're doing there. We're saying that if you want to set a button handler, give me a function that takes a text view
Okay.
pointer, and then you can do whatever you want, say with the text view right there. All right. So this is a, oh yeah, we never got rid of that. That's my fault. So now if I come here, I can write this function the way I want it to. Let's go back here. Except difference now is what we said is, sorry, view. We said, and I'm going to move this type up. But this is a type. This is a function that takes a text view. See, now that code works sort of perfectly, doesn't it? Now, if we continue to do the same thing, actually, we can get rid of the set function. So look, I'm going to move this type up here, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to put this back in the new. And I'm going to take this code. And I'm going to put it back here. And I already have the text view. Okay. Now what that means now is I don't have to save the button, right?
Okay.
And now what that means is I can pass the button handler here. Okay. Now this is complaining because of course, this won't ever decide to do what we need. No. Now it did it after restarting it.
Yeah.
Copy and paste just throws it off like tremendously. So you see now what I've done here, we've defined, and again, this shouldn't be written with a literal function here, right? Like function button handler will be somewhere. It's not necessarily going to be in main. But I can just take this code. Sometimes I can't figure out Copilot, like what it wants to do. And now I can get rid of this. So this isn't going to live here, right? We're going to put that in another file under chat.
Got it. Okay.
And maybe you end up with something like events.go. I don't know. I don't know enough yet. Where we just put this here, button handler. And now this will be a chat.button handler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, this is complaining because I called the type button handler. So I can't have this be called button handler, right? So again, it's a function, so it's now part of chat. It's not part of a, I'm sure that's going to become a method at some point. So let's just, for now, because again, you know me, I don't know enough. I'll just do this for now. Just knowing it's not going to be in main. Okay? And then the idea is v.run. Yeah. In fact, we can do an if error.
Because that's run is returning an error.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
I'm okay with all that. Right, and then you're good. So that would be the idea. We can do a new, construct everything, and then we can do a run and sort of hold it. And then you're sort of fine. And we need to do that because we're going to need to pass this view somewhere in order to be able to re-implement our hack sort of situation, right?
Yeah.
So now that we have V, we would be doing other things here, right? There's going to be like other things we need to do. And then at the very end, we hold main hostage on, hey, run the app, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, you know, now that I think about this a little bit more, what if we rename this to app, right? New app. I would just change this to A. Anywhere you see V dot is A dot. Because I think if we do that, this looks a little...
It looks more like the rest of the code that we have in
app,
other projects.
app run, right?
Yeah.
So we construct a new app and run. Now, with the button handler, the way we did this here, right? The other idea now is, and we can just test it here. So app dot write text.
Mm-hmm.
This is a test of this function. Functionality, fine. So let's see what happens now if we run it. So that's not good because I think it's still running hack main. And I don't want it to run hack main. I want it to run chat main. And it's not even under, it's under tooling. Let me just take the whole
Tooling,
thing.
client, chat.
Copy relative path. So that's good. This is a test of the functionality. There's the button hit. So
Yep.
cool, right? Like, and the escape worked perfectly. So, so far, sort of so good with all of this, right? I'm going to go and add these comments in a little bit as I feel more confident with this sort of shaping up. So we now have the ability to hit the button and pass an event for that.
Yep.
There will be an event we're going to need for the view list, but we're far away from that right now. And I would also say that wherever we finish today with this client, we try to finish it before the next show so we can, for sure, do the decentralized auth, right?
Got it. Okay.
So if we don't finish in the 2 hours, I'd say
Just finish it up.
we need to finish it up. Yeah, we can't be spending a lot of shows on this. Okay. Now, look, so I'd say that we got everything we needed out of the hack program. Now, this is our connectivity and our handshake, and all this sort of has to happen. Now, one thing I didn't add to the box was like if there's error messages, but I think we could just put that in the text view, couldn't we?
Yeah.
We could. And another thing that maybe we want to do as well is anytime we're going to write text, we sort of start with just some lines, right? I don't need this because it's already a thing. Just some lines. So we'll see everything that sort of,
Okay.
yeah, I don't care about the distance of these lines just yet, right? Even if we just did 3 for now, or 5.
Just to
1, 2, 3,
separate
4,
each
5.
message.
Just for now, to separate things. We can make all that look prettier, but sort of want to see that. So ideally, as I said to you, there's going to be more things now that we have to sort of do here, and that is the handshake. We want to know that we're connected, and that goes back to the distributed stuff. So
Yeah.
for me now, there's app.go, there's going to be events.go, right? There's going to be our need to talk to the chat server,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Client.go.
here we call it client.go. Again, maybe all these end up being packages. I don't know. But I do know this. I know that we're going to have a socket when it's all said and done, and we're going to need to be able to do all this stuff here, right? So maybe we start with this idea of a type, call it a client, it's a struct. I could tell you already that we're going to have a WebSocket connection, right?
Yep.
Okay. I can tell you that already. We can even call that a con here. Okay. We know we're going to have a new client. I don't know what it takes. Let's take a look again. Like all that seems reasonable, though we're going to go back and look, right? Again, you got to love, maybe the Copilot is what causes some pain here with go please. I wonder. Because I'm not really copying and pasting code, right? I hate this more than anything else. Construct, and then if there's going to be more than one, return the address and a nil here. Now, let's go back here. We had a make UID. I think this was stuff that we were playing with. This is the first time we see the request, right?
Yeah.
Because this dial needed a header value. So I think we can, and this was a map.
Yeah.
Now, there's a good chance that we could just pass nil to it because it's a map. So, and yeah, we could. So I don't think we had to do that. I think nil was fine because it's an empty map and it should probably check if the map is nil. Oh, that's bad. That will blow up. I don't think you can range over a nil map. I don't know what happens when you range over a nil map. You can range over a nil slice. But this assumes that we're ranging over a nil map. And I don't remember off the top of my head. We can open up a playground link and try it. Sometimes this is what I do when I'm not sure about something. I just do this. Go playground. Just do it real quick, right? So M is a map of whatever, string,
Yep. String.
for key value range M. Func.println, which will never run. KV, close it. Format, run. And that was a bad bill. Var
Or
that run.
the typo.
Why should I do it right the first time? So that's good. So you can range over a nil map and doesn't do anything, right? I didn't remember that. So we're fine here then, passing a nil because we weren't using it, right? But you see, I just go to the playground sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no reason to guess at that point. Okay. Now, here we defer the socket close, which we'd want to do. So what we're now going to have to do, I have a func, which is a client. It's an API, so we'll use our pointer semantics, right? And it already knew where we were going. We'll have to extend a close function that it can defer on the new client to do that. Okay, not a big deal. And that did a socket, yeah, which is the con close. Okay, now we had this whole handshake sort of protocol that we have to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the new client establishes a connection, but it doesn't sort of go through the handshake just yet. So the question is, do we want to separate the handshake from the new? In other words, what we could do instead, I think, I'm wondering, do we allow the dial to happen and separate the dial from, at this point, the read and the send, or do we do this? And it kind of goes back to some of the stuff we talked about last week with the escape analysis, right?
Yeah.
Call this handshake, right? So let's say that we moved this in here for just a minute, which means that essentially all we're going to do is not have an error. And essentially all we're going to do is return, which doesn't feel right just yet, but let's just play it out. Because you could just then construct a zero value client and sort of go. But let's just play this out for a second. Now, assuming that I do need a URL,
Yep.
okay, maybe we do ask for the URL here. Make this feel a little bit better. Okay. And then on the handshake side, now because of that, this could be nil, right? So if equals nil, return nil.
The connection could be nil.
Yeah,
Okay.
or you could do new and then close it and you haven't done anything yet.
Got it. Okay.
Now, if we walk through this for a minute, right? And we say handshake. Now, you do the handshake. We have that. I didn't mean that. I could take this code now that we wrote. So you do a connection. You read
Got it.
the message. Now, because once you connect, our server is going to send something.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's better to sort of do that. Now, what sucks here is we don't have any timeouts and stuff, but right? We don't really have an option for reading with a timeout, unfortunately, because this is an old package, right? And I'm sure we had that whole conversation, but let's just keep this the way it is, because at least we don't have to worry about it right now. So if I kept all of this too for a minute, so we would read.
Yep.
What a surprise. You don't want to bring in a UUID. Thank you. Right? We would read. Now, we've got a whole ID problem here.
Yeah.
But we're going to solve that problem at some point. So let's say on the handshake, on the client, you also specify an ID. Okay?
And is it a string or a UUID?
When
type?
we're done, it's not a UUID. It's going to be a string that represents your sort of public key.
Okay, got it.
Okay, now we're going to need it to be a UUID to start. Okay, so at least for where we are right now with everything, we can do this, but that's going to have to change because when we do the decentralized auth, we ain't going to be playing with UUIDs. We're going to be playing with something else.
That'll be keys.
Okay, but we can keep this for now. Yeah, so that's your client ID. I did make it a UUID now, didn't I? Yeah, okay. Did I
var.
not? Oh, I called it lowercase here because it's right. It's fine. And then this is your connection. And then we read it again. And we're not going to do this. So what we're going to also now need is you passing in a app, right?
Yeah.
Pointer to a app. We need our app. And then on the app, what we can do is say app dot. Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't save the app, did I?
No.
Okay. So we're going to have an app. And now I can say c dot app dot and clear the text. Ooh, why did we write clear text with a message? That was a bad API design, wasn't it? So clear text, write text.
Write text. So it's going to
message.
clear whatever's there, and then it's going to write. Okay.
Yeah, right, because we're doing a new handshake.
Yes.
So let's just say we clear it. Okay, now, this is what we were doing before, right? This is the go routine that reads, and so we can set that up. And then this was all the input stuff. So let's take this go routine. Again, we said that it could be an orphan, right?
Yep.
Now, the thing is, I didn't save the con, did I? So at some point here, I'm going to have to do c dot con equals con, which to me is a smell. Freaking hate that, dude. Because I hate partial construction. I just hate it. It causes bugs to happen, right? So this really can't be here. This has to be here because if we're going to call close, I do have an open connection. But I hate this. This is like a big smell. But I don't want to do the connection here because of that sort of the handshake. So I'm going to leave this, but that to me is always a smell. If you gave me this code, we'd be talking about it. Right now I don't see a better way to do it, but
Con.
now out message, did we have a type?
We had types at the bottom.
Okay. So let's bring in these types in our sort of client. I'm going to just leave them here for now. Okay. So now in this case, again, though, what we want to do is this, right? And I think just to keep things, oh yeah, that already has the lines. So this loop would just run. It's an orphan go routine. Once again, we said we don't care, but we can't print F anymore.
We have to write text.
So could do this at least and just write text to the screen so we can see what's happening, right?
Okay.
I'd prefer that to be lowercase too. And we don't need the CAD return. So, right, so we'll just write those to that text view if all that sort of fails at some point. So that has that piece to it. This piece now is we're going to tie to the button that we wrote, right?
Got it. Okay, the one that switches between the...
When you hit the button with the message that you sent. So if I come back to main for a second, remember we had a button handler.
Yeah.
Okay. And the button handler is essentially going to be this code here. So now I am thinking that our client is going to have a method let's see what this looks like for a second. Text view. So let's play this out. It's going to have a, let's just even steal that code for a second, because it might be good. If there's no connection, right, return an error, fine. No. We didn't know who to send it to, so we're going to have to do a to here for now. Again, that's going to change, because we are going to need to know what the person's public ID is. But let's just say we did that. So we do a send, we marshal, we write it over the connection. That's kind of what we want, right? That's what we want. So let me take this for a second. Let me just put it here and I comment it. So what this now tells me is we have another chicken and the egg problem. I need a client to be able to implement the button handler.
Yeah.
Right? And now we have a chat app that wants a button handler, but in order to do that, I need a chat. I need a client.
Okay.
So I need a client, but I can create a client because we don't do the handshake right away. So if I say client dot new client, is that what we called it, or did we screw up? Yeah,
New client.
Okay. The new client needs a URL. So let's just say we have it. This is actually a chat client, but it shouldn't matter. It's a chat.new client, isn't it? Okay. It takes an app. So let's go back to this for a second. But it needs a button handler. So we got a chicken and the egg problem.
Yeah.
Not good at any level, right? Now, honestly, I need the app first. So what this tells me now is that this app cannot ask for the button handler on construction. All right, we'll get rid of that.
Set button handler. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like any of that, but that's okay. So that's good there, and we're gonna steal this code here, which means that we gotta save the button again,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll do that now. So let's go back to saving the button.
Yep.
Sometimes these little things that start to happen are smells, okay,
And
because
they
you're
kinda-
creating these dependencies, but let's just continue to play it out. But just, we're gonna treat it as a little bit of a smell right now. So a dot button, that's our handler, and it's gonna take the text view. Okay. So now we've got the set handler here, which is good, because now what we do is we construct the new app.
Mm-hmm.
We now have it. We can now construct a client, which takes as the first parameter what? An app. Fine.
And then URL.
Yeah, then chat dot set. Didn't we call it set?
Set button handler. Chat dot new app.
Oh, it should be under app. App dot set button handler is the, so we got a couple things going on here. Oh, I need a UUID too.
Yeah.
So for now, remember we had all this sort of hacky stuff.
Yeah, we hard coded UUIDs and
Yeah. I'm just gonna do this for now, just to get through some compiler messages, right? All right. So ID, URL, this gives me a client,
mm-hmm.
fine. Okay. Now, I can set the button handler to be my client dot, didn't we have a method here? Oh, no, we didn't.
Mm-mm.
Didn't we have it here? Oh, we need it here. We don't have it yet. Okay, so we know a button handler has to look like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now that means that it has to import a TV, which won't really be a problem. So let's play this out. So we gotta have a method that has this. I feel like we're in trouble a little bit.
Yeah.
But let's just keep going, because I have to see it. Takes a button handler, which takes a pointer to a tree view. And the idea is that when we hit the button, this is when we want to do... But in order to send something, I need your ID, and I need the message, right?
Yeah, who you're sending it to and...
Now, the message is in the text box. And the ID, the client has an app, right? Is that what we did? The client has an app.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we've got access to the UI here automatically, okay? We have access to everything in the UI.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, remember, this handler is happening at the app layer. All we know, we don't have much context to go on here. So this would tell me, okay, there's two pieces of information to do this when you hit the button. Who you're sending it to. Now we know who you're sending it to.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the app for a second. Remember when I said I was gonna keep this add item?
Okay.
Main
yes.
text, secondary text. What if we hard coded this as secondary text. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. And then this one, let's say was you. There's more work to do, but let's just say that we did this. Okay, so that's your name, that's your ID right here. So now, when they hit the button,
Yeah.
okay, when they hit the button, we need to call this. Now, really what we want to do is, we have to register this function, is what we have to do at the end of the day. That's the button handler. Now, why are we asking for a text view for a button handler?
Handler a.text view.
I don't know why we're asking for a text view on a button handler when this function can be anything. So I think asking for this sort of is a mistake. I don't think we need a text view. Remember, we already have access to the app. So we need to know who it's going to and what the message is.
Yeah.
When that button is clicked. We know what the message is. We have it in the app. It's in that window.
Yep.
We know who it's going to because you have a user selected on the other side, don't we? Okay?
Yeah.
Fine. So here's the client send. Now, remember the client has the app. The client has the app. The client has the app. The app does not have a client. What if the app had the client? I think the app...
I think that would make more sense, no?
I think the app needs the client.
Because when you would start the app and then the client needs to be made in the app.
I think this has to change. I don't think a client has an app.
It's the other way.
Yes. I think an app has a client. Okay? Now, if an app has a client, we can construct the client the client needs to know who they are.
Yeah.
Okay. An app now has a client, which would mean, again, this could be done. I don't know what this looks like just yet, but let's just stick to this so far. We still need to know who we are as a person, right? Okay. So even with doing this crazy stuff right now, and we're gonna have to solve for that problem. What if I go back to just this for a minute? Yeah, let's say I just did this for a minute. So we're gonna construct a client, then we get a new app. I think this button can move again, but now so watch this now. We did this, right? The app now has a client. Okay. We need to create a button handler. What does that button handler do?
Needs to essentially make the button ready to use, right?
So we need to do a couple things. When the button is hit, we need to use our client, okay, which we're having here, and we need to do a send.
Yes.
Okay. Sending it to who? Well, we have that in the list, don't we? I'm going to move this function down, but we know we have it in the list. In our case, let's just hard code it to, it's the selected item, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Get selected something. We need to look that up. So, because there's a get item selected func, that doesn't help me. Get item text, but you're saying the index. I need to know which item is the selected item. Oh, get current item. Okay.
Okay, there it is.
So that returns the int, okay? And then list dot get item text. Why does that return? Main and secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So get item text now gave you the 2, right? It's the current, it's the main, which is the name. And
The name
2.
and the ID in our case.
Just say string, right? And now we need to do a UUID parse to that. Now I don't want to do any of this. If it fails, okay, we're like deep in the UI right now,
Yeah.
right? So this is where we need, I'm going to move this function out to the button handler. Hold on. So if any of this fails, let's just keep going here. What I'd prefer to do is again a dot write. I don't know what I just did, bro. Editor's going crazy. A dot write text.
That pretty much.
That
Yep.
pretty much, right? Okay. And then we've got a, called it 2.
2,
And then we need to get the message. Now the message is in the text area. Guess what we now need? The list box here. Okay. We also need the text area. We need to save everything. Okay. All right, we need text area. I hope all this is thread safe. Now, you need a dot text area, not set text, but get text.
get item text. Yeah.
I think there's a get. Okay, this is crazy, isn't it?
What?
All right, something is off and it's wreaking havoc on our IntelliSense. So, parse. Oh, there's no if equals not nil. Now we're doing better. A dot text area dot get text.
Yep.
Now once we get the text,
That's going to be our message.
okay, that's going to be our message. This message could fail,
Yep.
right? A dot client send. Okay, if there's an error, then I would say that we do that, right?
They're sending the message. Yep.
And then I would empty that out, just like it thinks it wants to. Cursor at the end. I think you want false for that. If cursor at the end is false, cursor is placed at the start of the text. If it's true, it's placed at the end of the text for very long text. Since we're emptying it, I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you've got a button handler that knows how to do what we have to do in the UI and use the client, right?
Yeah.
So now, but that is a method now off of app, isn't it? Again, these are all little smells to me. Did I already call this app? Yeah, I did up there. That's fine. So let's just call it A for now. Now my problem is I need to set the button handler to that. You see that? That again feels like a smell, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the button handler needs access to the client. So we can't really set it until everything's constructed properly. Just is what it is right now. We can come back and look at it later. So this is fine, okay? So we construct everything. We have an app.
Yeah.
Now we set the button handler. The button handler, when we hit it, will
Gets who we're sending it to.
Who we're sending it to, gets the
What we're
message.
sending.
It should check, right? You know, if message equals this. I would almost just do
We
this.
just want it. We
Yeah.
just want it not to work.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay, right? So now we have that. The way this is going to be working, though, I don't want to embed, Joseph, anything, because then that entire API gets extended out. And that just makes it even more confusing. So for sure, I don't want to do any embedding. I want to control what the API surface area is. And if the other person doesn't want us writing in Go, they can find another show. Okay, so I think the button handler now gets interesting because it does that, right? But now I think we have problems because, right? And I don't really want, I can't have, even though right now I could pull it off, right? We can't have that situation here. So remember, yeah. So this tells me that the handshake, anytime that we're going to need to do something with the UI, it has to happen on the UI side. It just has to happen on the UI side, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So let's think about this handshake for a second. I don't really need to write that during the handshake. Okay, I'm going to return an error. That's fine. This is a Go routine that for sure needs to access the app layer stuff. It just needs it because it has to be able to write text.
Yes.
Okay. We got rid of button handler, and we have the send here, don't we? But this little Go routine now is a problem. It has to be on the app side if it has to do anything. It just does. So let's go back and look at this for a second. We said we'd construct an app,
Yep.
which would take a client. It has a client, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, and imagine these are in different packages, so they can't import each other, even though they're in the same package.
Okay.
And I could pull this off. I could pull it off if oh, we don't need this anymore, right? Client doesn't have a set anymore. If we kept these together, we could pull it off because it's in the same package. They could have each other. We could set this stuff here in main.
Okay.
But ideally, now the problem is that I need the app layer to manage this. The app layer does have a client, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know how to do this. I know how to solve this problem. I think I know how to solve it. Client app. Okay. I think I know how to solve this problem. The question is, somebody's got to call handshake. Handshake's going to have to happen down here. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. Handshake is going to have to happen down here. The problem is that at the end of the handshake, we have this function that needs to be able to write to the UI.
Yes.
Okay. Needs to be able to write to the UI. And it's not allowed to import app. Okay, no problem. What if we did this? Remember in app we defined this type, which I don't think we need anymore because we wrote the function ourselves now, right?
Yeah.
Based on the relationship here.
We did.
Just for fun for a second. Maybe we do this with an interface, but
That's where my mind was going.
But I don't know if we need an interface here. What we really need is a function that takes a message that is of a string, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just if we play this out. And really, we need a function that writes text to the UI, right?
Yeah.
Write UI text. Because that's what we need as part of this handshake that we're going to create this sort of go routine with. So if we did this, if during the handshake we asked for that, I'm going to call it write text. That solves that problem with a function, okay? Maybe we'll just call this write text, just keep it the same. You see, with write text, now if I come here, now I need a function, what does this say? That takes a string, right?
Mm-hmm. Takes up.
Obviously there could be an error here. We got to fix this too with a run function. All right, I hate all these OS exits, but if you would just listen to me, we'd be done. Oh, we have, yeah, we're gonna have to fix some of that. But what this does,
Okay.
is it says we construct a client. All right. I just want to get this out of the logic for a second. We construct an app that takes a client.
Yeah.
We define a function that knows how to write text
Okay.
to the app. and we pass that function to our client handshake, it eliminates any import later on. And we do it at the handshake level instead of that client level because we have a chicken and the egg problem.
Yeah.
But if we did it there, now when we construct this Go routine, it knows how to write those messages to the UI for us. Like,
Got it.
I
Okay.
just solved.
It's solving that.
Yeah,
the
we don't
right
need an
text problem.
interface because I just really need a function. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that solved the, I got a lot of comments we gotta add, but I think that solves the chicken and the egg problem here.
So now it's creating a client, then the new app is taking a client, and then we're setting a function that can write text, and then the handshake is...
Gonna happen or it's not,
Yeah.
we'll see it. Then we can, you know, test the functionality and then we go into a hack. We block main in the run.
Yeah.
And then everything's essentially happening now on the UI side,
Got it.
but we
Okay.
were able to write text here. Now, what that tells me is we never used clear text, did we, as an API?
Hmm.
No, we never used it. I don't remember where we were gonna use it, but I think on the handshake, the idea was to,
Was it in...
yeah, but now we're not doing that because now we're using a write text. Oh, I got rid of it because I said, screw it, we don't need it. So this is gonna come back at some point because when we click different users,
Yeah, we're going to want to clear the text.
clear the text and do something. I don't think it has to be an API though. I think it can stay. I think write text needed to be an API because it needed to be used here.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I don't think anything else needed to be an API. So I'm gonna put run first. Just feels better to be the first method. So we now have a view, right? New app.
Mhm.
We know how to run it. We've got a handler that knows how to send messages. That's all it has to do. And we expose the ability to write a message to the thing. Then the client, we construct it. We have to be able to do a close. So defer client close, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're able to construct an app. I feel that feels better. But then we have to be able to do a handshake. We want to write some stuff to the screen during, well, not even that, the handshake. So now I'm wondering if we have two separate concerns here. Should the handshake start this Go routine? Let's just say it's going to, right? So we do the handshake that gets us going. That starts that reading Go routine. It now knows how to write text to that. We do some of our own here, writing app text, and then we block to run. Now, the only bad thing that we've done here is I've hard-coded this client to use that ID. Now, what did we do here so we could hack? We had a 0 and we had a 1, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So
And the user slice of view UIDs.
So if we wanted to continue our hack for a second, okay? Let's just say we want to continue our hack for a second.
Okay.
So I could just leave this in here, assuming that AC is 1 and the other one is 0 and 1. We've kept the order 0 and 1, right? Okay. So if we say you just have to make sure that you select. We got to make sure we select the right person in the list
Yeah.
when we're sending it to ourselves. But this same hack should work. So with this code, we should be able to
So
send a
here
message.
we're 0 and 1 here, but
It won't matter. This
1
is-
and 2 in the other.
Yeah, but this is me. I'm AC. You're A4. It's going to show Bill and Kevin. So when you open up your UI, you select Bill. When I open up my UI,
Yeah, you
I'm going to select Kevin. And you're going to use hack 1. I'm going to use hack 0. So it should all work the same, minus whatever buggy bugs we've got.
And then at some point, we're going to have it where it goes with the UUIDs we're
When-
generating.
On Thursday, we're going to start decentralized auth. We're going to get rid of UUIDs.
Oh, okay.
And all that's going to happen. But just to get us where we are right now, we've got to hack a little bit. Like, if this worked, this would be a level of miracle.
Okay.
Okay? So, let's do the following. Oh, why did I have this up? I'm going to, even though this could be all broken, I'm going to get add all, get add all, get commit, some new client changes. Oops. Okay. So the rule is to start the back end, which is chat run. And then I'm still going to use, nobody listening to this run anything just yet. All bad things are going to happen. So that's interesting. I got this is a test of this functionality, and so did you. So I'm going to choose Kevin down here. You're going to choose Bill. Say, hi, Bill. You're going to have to hit the button. Okay, I didn't get it, but
No.
that's okay. Message received to, all zeros. Okay, so the same thing I'm guessing is going to happen here. So we just have to get that ID thing right. Okay, so the 2 is broken. So, okay, hit escape. I'm going to close that. We're close, dude. The fact that we got that far is pretty magical. So the
ID
2 is broken, right? So that 2 stuff was the call to send. So that's tied to the button, isn't it? So let's go back to the button code here. Okay. So what that would tell me is that we didn't get the secondary string out of here, did we?
But it's not a string, it's a UU. Oh, no.
No, we'll parse it.
We're parsing.
I didn't get an error on the parse, so we should have had a 2. I would think all of that would have failed, right? Plus, we didn't see a write text call that failed. So on the send, I love Copilot. Don't you love Copilot?
UUID.nil. Oh, yeah.
You gotta love Copilot.
0 value.
Yeah. Man, if it wasn't for that, I think it would have worked. Okay, pull that down. Let's chat run again. Let's use hack 0. I'm gonna make sure I choose Kevin. Send me a message. Hey,
There it is.
Bill. Hi, Kevin. Oh, I can't hit enter.
No, yeah,
That's
submit.
fine.
Yep, I got
Now, the thing is I don't see my message.
it. It cleared it.
No, I never wrote it to the screen because we didn't have to do that before. So let's write who it's from into the UI,
okay,
right?
yeah, from this. Okay.
Yeah. So let's come back here for a second now. So we're gonna have the same sort of. So on the button handler, if that works, right? I cleared it, but we also want to do a write text. And what would be nice then, just for now, because all I have is a UUI. Oh, I have a name too, though, don't I? So look, name, right? Just for now.
There we go. Hit AC.
Now, could we do this?
Are you 359? Is the end of your ID 359?
I know, I was hoping nobody would try to connect right now. So, that's okay. I'm going to change write text to take a name and a message. So, in this case,
no, it's from you. It's sending it over and over.
It is?
It's sending it over and over. And it's from 359.
I don't think it's me, dude.
Is 359 me or you?
I think somebody connected and is doing something, which I've asked them not to do. So let's just kill the server. Because we're not ready for that yet. We won't be ready till next week. So let me look at this again. I think somebody else connected, dude, and they're playing games. So let's not worry about that right now. Button handler. I think we can just do this. All right. Just for now. And then if you write text, why is this not bugging out? Yeah, it should be. Don't worry about that. Just shut your thing down. You can only ask people to do so much. Okay. Now, maybe it is our bug, but
System.
yeah, let's call this system for now. And then in main, I want to call this system. And I hate when it says red here and I don't see it. God, I hate it when I can't see it. Oh, there it is right here. So we can just call this connected, right? Okay, so what that should now do for us is when the button handler is set, it should set the name
Yep.
and the message.
Yep.
And then when a message comes in, we got to change our function now to take a name.
Now our write text function takes it. Okay.
Yeah. We'll take a name. Name.
Okay.
And then on the client side, now, this can be system. System. And then here, the name will be,
From out message.
well, it's us, right? It's the ID here. So in our case, we can just say you, okay?
Okay.
Just for now, we can just say
You.
oh no, this is what we read. So you're right. This was bad.
Okay.
Out message dot
From.
name. What we really should do here on the button handler us say you, right? I don't know how systems do that. Just do that, right? Okay. Let's try this. No. Nobody else connect. Okay, hack 0.
What, did you push it to me?
Why would I do that, dude? That would make too much sense. See, that's a nice system.
Yeah.
At least we're seeing that. Some just messaging changes. Okay, get that. Hack 0. So it says, hi, Kevin.
That's from the last one.
Are we not acking anymore? Did I like get rid of the ack? I must have gotten rid of the acking. Where was?
Yeah, see, and it's sending it over and over.
Okay, so definitely my fault, first of all. Okay. So that would be on the server side, not doing an ACK anymore. But I thought we solved all those problems, dude.
We did.
So remember, we didn't say new. We said ACK. Oh, delivery new policy. I don't know why it's happening, bro.
I don't think it's well,
Is it possible somebody else? Let's do the following.
because it's our UUI.
Escape your client.
Okay.
Kill your server.
Yep.
All I'm going to do is start my server. I got no messages, right?
Yep.
Start your server. No messages, right?
Nope.
Okay, don't do anything else. I'm going to hack 0. I'm connected, nothing. This is saying it came from Bill Kennedy. And it says, hey, Bill. So first of all, that's wrong. Because A45, the problem is somebody could be messing with us. A45 is you, really. So yeah. So I'm thinking, right now I think A45 is from, why do I think that? This is a message that came in, right? Let's start there for a minute. The messages that come in are from this go routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you send a message, and in message, read a message. Oh, that's now I'm confused. Oh, this is a message that's going out. Okay. This is a message that we send. This is the right text message. We write this data that says to, right? And this is a message that came in. Huh. feel like we got something backwards, and I don't. My brain is shutting down. Because these were all solved problems before, right?
From the cap.
Oh, but the server side would do this. Yeah. From the cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the cap is saying this is coming in off the bus. So there's a few weird things going on. The cap, either somebody else is connected and pushing messages to our bus right now, which is possible. But it's weird it would be, hey, Bill, over and over again, wouldn't it?
The exact same way, yeah.
But what doesn't make sense, dude, is if we go to...
But even our UUIDs, well, I mean...
We said deliver new policy. Only deliver new messages sent after the consumer is created.
I thought we had this where it was already generating the UUIDs for us.
I know, but even forget about that. We could change UUIDs around, but that doesn't stop. Forget about the client stuff. Look here, right? So either there's somebody on the stream connected messing with us, because remember we didn't do actual identification yet, which is next week.
Mm-hmm.
And look, this is for sure somebody connected messing with us because they don't have the latest and they had the bug. You see what I'm saying? So instead of disrupting the show, let them do what they want here. I think that we're working, right? I'm going to run make hack. So forget about all that comes in. If I say, hello, Kevin, whatever, you, okay, now you say something. Anything but, yeah. I think you got to hit the button. Now that to me is...
Mine, yeah, it's just showing Bill Kennedy.
Okay, so that to me is a bug that we need to fix, right? Because when we do the send, right?
Yeah.
When we do the send, we were writing, and I got it in here twice, so we got to fix that. So let's take a look at that code. Let's take a look at the code from the button perspective, the button handler, okay? So we know we have the to right. We know we have the message right. We know that we send it. And then on the send, I saw you. You saw you.
Yeah.
All right, but when the message is coming in, we're in this code here.
We're seeing who it's from.
But this code actually is for the inbound route. The real problem is that this is coming in off the bus, right? So let's go back for a second to the bus. Read message. Listen bus. Here it is. Okay? When a message comes in off the bus, it comes here. Well, yeah, then we write it. All right, the cap writes it to the socket, right? With a from ID and a from name. I feel very good that's working. So then we read it here. But as you see, the from, okay, for sure we got nasty, for sure something bad's happening on Nats. We may have to bring David back in. Because the messages they're not getting act, right?
No, and it's over every like 10 seconds or something.
And
comes in.
I feel like the from is wrong. It's going to be a nightmare to debug, man. I don't know what's going on. I feel like we're going to have to delete the stream and recreate it. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, kill your thing.
Yep.
I did not expect to be doing this today at any level. Let me start my thing. And let me kill. Okay, so I started it by deleting the stream, right?
Yep.
Okay, you should be able to start. Send one message. You can't hit enter because I didn't code that. Though I don't know why it disappears, to be honest with you. So from yes to me.
From 8845 to, yeah.
So that's good. But message, I don't know why this says bus message set. I need to find that. We definitely have a bug.
And there it goes.
Okay. Now, but I think the bug is this. I think
Yeah,
we're
keeps
sending it, right? So let's do this for a second. Bus message received. Where is that code? Bus message. Bus message received. Okay.
And listen, boss.
But this send is over the socket. So
But if I'm connected, should it even be going over the bus?
yeah, you're sending the bus, the cap is receiving it, and then I'm sending it over the socket back to my client because I found it. But no, there shouldn't be another bus message sent. So we broke something for sure.
There's a bus message sent.
Because this just writes it to the socket. So bus message sent is really a socket write. It's not really a bus. See, listen bus says retrieve, right? But C, message sent,
Send a message.
all it does is it writes JSON to the WebSocket. All right. And that's because we find the user.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe our client is looping right now. Maybe the client is looping right now. So hold on. Bus message sent over WebSocket. And then I had local. I think we must have a problem in our client that it's sort of looping.
I want to agree with that.
Okay, let's look at our client again.
For read message, write text.
So this is us reading a message off the socket client, right?
Mm-hmm.
WebSocket client. We get it. And we write it. So I don't see a loop back there. When you hit the button, you did a send. Now remember, we do get the message. We get our own message. Oh. We get our own message back. That's going to be where the bug is. Let's go back to the cap for a second. Remember listen bus?
Uh-huh.
We always get our own message back. So if our cap ID is not the same, that's why we're in the loop. Here. We broke something here. We broke something here, bro.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Let's see something here. That's why we're in a loop.
And it's returning.
All right, this is gonna delete it again
Okay.
because I didn't push these other changes. Our cap ID is gonna be off. Send me a message.
Yep.
Shit. That's a nasty bug when the cap ID is off.
I keep doing it.
I know, it's okay. We're gonna fix that after our stream. Yes, the cap ID is off.
Uh-huh.
I think. Let's see. Plus, this is 28. I don't even know what that number is. It's a cap ID. Let's review the code for cap ID.
Bus message cap ID and then C dot.
We added the idea of a cap ID.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of the cap ID was for us to recognize, I think that's a unique value. So I should have put a comment here that said, okay, I'm gonna kill this, it's gonna delete it again, so kill yours. Maybe this isn't the problem. Would have been nice. All right, send it again. Actually, yeah, send it again. You won't know though until I need to sort of, let me send the message.
Okay.
Let me send it to you. Let me send it. Right, look, same, so ignore. So it's not a cap ID issue. We solved the cap ID with the unique file, remember?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a cap ID issue.
And then that's returning up. Message sent over WebSocket. See, and it's not doing the sent. It's only doing the sent over WebSocket
Yeah, but
when
we
it's
keep-
repeating.
But we keep getting it, right? Okay. The only thing I can think of is that our axe stopped working on the consumer. You know what I'm saying? Because it keeps coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to get David again because where's the ACK stuff? Maybe we somehow
Cap in main.
shouldn't we have an ACK in here? Oh, I think it's in the no, it's not in the retrieve. Here's listen bus. What happens? Oh, remember what we did? We added this function. We don't have the ACK anymore. When we cleaned up all the concurrency, we got rid of the ACK on the message.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Damn it. Because we took the logic of the function and put it in here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I remember that.
damn it, dude. Okay, so let's do the following. Let me run this one more time with the delete. Okay, we forgot the ACK. That's on me. What a nasty little bug to try to figure out. Let me restart this. Okay, wait, don't start it. I just wanted to delete the stream. Okay. So now I'm going to,
You have to
what
push
other,
that up too.
yeah, what other changes do we now have? Just that. Oh, should be more changes. And the ACK. Okay. Let's push this up. Dude, that sucked. We get commit minus adding back.
Adding back the yak.
So we're seeing now that you keep getting it because you didn't ACK it.
So let's.
So now I can do a make chat run hack 0. Okay, send me a message. I still got to fix that one. 'Cause
Yeah,
it thinks
the
it's
from.
from me. Why is that the case? I don't know why my submit button doesn't say submit. Okay, so now we're down to one bug.
It looks like that is under control now.
Yeah, it's not going to do it again. So that was nasty. But why does it think that you sent me that? Let's see this. Hold on. Received message to from.
I wonder if I send it to myself.
I know, but
Just to see what happens. Yeah, it still says Bill Kennedy. It says you and then Bill Kennedy.
let me read these logs. You sent me a message called "Hacking is fun."
Mm-hmm.
From you, from A4 to AC. I found me and I sent it. Then I sent, why is that the case? And I said, okay. Now let's go back to this busage mess received.
I think it was API tooling.
Yeah, I just don't know where I want to look anymore. So if I look at, so this is all, we might have to log the from here, the name, just to have clarity that it's not the, I'm going to have to do that, dude. We're going to have to log this log here, bus message received. Here, right? From name. We're gonna have to do this.
Yeah.
If that doesn't say Kevin, then that's our issue, right?
Yep.
Okay, send me another message.
Oh, not to
No, you didn't have to restart.
Oh, okay.
You never had to restart. Because I want to see what happens here.
From name Bill Kennedy.
Okay, so there's the bug.
Yep.
The bug is not on the client, it's on the server side when we send it. Okay. So we have the ID right, we got the name wrong. So let's go look at where we send over the bus.
Send message bus. From ID, from name.
How can that be wrong? When we received it over the bus,
That's weird.
dude,
What if you send me a message?
I don't, no, it's the same code, right? So that's a different problem, but let's go back to this from Bill Kennedy. So at the server level, from Kevin is right, but the name was wrong. The only way that could be wrong is for whatever code calls send message bus.
Listen.
Okay. This is the code that you sent, okay, from the client.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be on the client. We read it. Okay. Let's take a look at the client side that does the send over the socket. When you hit the button, we only have a 2 and a message here,
Mm-hmm.
right? I only have a 2 and a message here. All I have is a 2 ID when this socket connection comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the listen on the socket right here, okay? Listen. Wherever that was being used. Nobody's using this? Oh, listen socket happens at the domain app layer. Listen socket, fine.
Okay.
So we get the message. It's 2 in message ID, right?
Yep.
The from ID came in from the app layer. And that came in off the handshake. So we know your from name on the handshake side. So all this is going to get corrected, dude.
Yeah.
Am I a dumbass?
Oh, it's hard coded.
What the hell, bro? It's hard coded. Okay. I'm going. That's twice. I think Copilot did something like that to us. Okay, so a couple things here. It's on the handshake that's happening, right? So I don't know how we solved that last time, but we do now have names in the app layer. We do have names in the app layer. So in the client, when we did new client here, we specified your, yeah. Okay. The names are what's throwing it off right now, and all the name shit's gonna have to go away. But if we wanna fix this cleanly, I have information in the app layer for this, right? It's that code that we used here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. I could find your name in the list of shit. So this is just a hack, okay? So I don't want to fix this right now at 1 o'clock. I just know that we have it here. It said Bill Kennedy. So maybe what we can do right now is empty this out. Okay? Let's just empty out the name. So we're not sending the name anymore. Then what's going to happen here? We're just going to pass it as an empty name.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what's going to happen here? We're going to read. We're going to have an empty name, I think. Okay. handshake, the idea of the handshake was to say your name. We're going to fix all this in a bit, but when we do the handshake piece on the chat side, we store the username, right? Welcome
user.name. So we need to get the name.
Did we store the name? What did we do at name here on handshake? We even added the user, and the user has a name. That's the problem. So we get your name because it's in the user system. So the only way to fix this little bug, even while we're in a temporary place, is to have your name. And right now on the client, because we've hard-coded your name here, okay, we can do the following. Just to fix this bug so we're in a decent place going into next week where we got to solve this place anyway. Let's just say find name given a for now. I actually don't even mind this code right now. So I gotta find my name here. App.find name based on id.string. Right?
And that's gonna be name, yeah.
And again, as a hack, because I got no choice right now, I can't do it before. Well, I could do this. Yeah, that's not the right way to do it. Let's just do this for now. Just to get out of this problem for a minute. It's something we're going to have to solve better. Now we have name. This is bad, okay? It can't stay this way. We're going to have to be smarter about name and stuff. And eventually, we might have to get rid of name or in the UI ask you what your name should be. Because
yeah, that would be.
We're going to have to do it at the time you come in where you can specify your name. Because when we do this decentralized stuff, there is no account. You have to tell us what your name is.
Every time.
Right? It's part of the handshake to tell us what your name is. I just hard-coded it. So we're going to clean all this up. We might have to add to the UI. Look, as part of the handshake on the client side, as part of the handshake, we have to say what your name is. So there's going to have to be some process on who your name is for the handshake, which means that we're going to have a connect button that asks you for your name and then does all that groovy stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to need a connect button. But we're going to do that between now and Thursday, okay? But let's just name issue. So we had an act problem, we've got a name problem, but if you run it now and you do a hack 0,
well, I do a hack 1.
Yeah, you do a hack 1, at least we've got the beginnings of a client. Yeah, you're going to fix the enter. So now it says Kevin Ardan. Hi, Kevin Ardan. I don't know why the word submit disappeared. You. Hi, Kevin Ardan and Bill. Okay.
Okay, so the names.
So.
Oh, and then now it's showing.
Okay, but that was somebody else.
No, that was the past message that I did, I think.
What, from before? Maybe it didn't get act before. Now it's all act.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's not happening anymore. We had, I also have to get rid of that delete code now. And
'Cause
chat,
it didn't happen to me.
yeah, okay. Oh, wait, no, I already did, okay. Did I already get rid of the delete? Yeah, now it's back. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock. So where are we at? We're gonna take some notes.
Yep.
We didn't act that thing, so we're gonna spend the next 24 hours cleaning up the UI so it's a little more functional.
Yeah.
We won't do that on film. We're gonna have to add a connect button where we get your name,
Yep.
and we'll do that for this version here. And then we'll support the enter key because you've hit that 1,000 times.
Yeah, I keep doing it.
Now, ideally, users wouldn't come into the list until they send their first message.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then it pops in. Oh, this person just sent you a message, right? So you wouldn't see yourself there.
Got it. Okay.
And we should do that. We should do that too before Thursday. So that way we have a much more functional client going into Thursday. And then on Thursday, the idea is to start our decentralized auth with the private key, public key. We won't be using a UID anymore. We'll use another ID.
Yeah.
But we'll be able to do that. But we'll need the connect because part of the connection process is going to be this
Getting that
exchange of authorization, sort of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll add 2 buttons. I don't know why it doesn't say submit down there. We'll fix that. So we'll have the submit and we'll have the connect button. We'll make sure all that works. But right now, this is a pretty good sort of starting point with the UI. We fixed our ACK issue, hard-coded other stuff that I'm moving too fast with Copilot, and now it's killing me. So, but that's not bad, considering 2 hours of sort of hacking there. So we'll work on this tomorrow, and then by Thursday, everybody can pull down, and by the end of day Thursday, hopefully, everybody could have a unique account on the system, decentralized account on the system. And we could all talk to each other over the stream in a sane way. Not group chats, but like one-on-one chats at least.
Yeah.
We're really close to that.
That would be cool. And it'll be episode 10 also. It'll be the 10th session.
Okay. Is that
So
bad that we're 10?
That'll be cool.
Oh, 10. I don't know if we'll get it all done on Thursday, but we should be, if we get all the UI stuff that we need to get done between now and then, there shouldn't be a reason why we can't have the decentralized auth, because we'll have everybody run a command on the terminal to produce a private key, which will be their identity. And then essentially when they start this, if they don't have an identity, they'll get an identity.
Got it. Okay.
We'll have to show what your identity is too, because you're going to have to tell people what your ID is in order for them to send you a message. Which means that you're going to have to be able to,
So that might be something that's good to show when they're connecting, when they're doing the handshake with their name.
No, I don't want to share what we know. Yeah, on the connect.
To give them their public one.
Yeah, but we're going to have to show it on the UI too. So on the UI, somewhere we're going to have to show what your ID is.
Yeah.
Somewhere there, yeah.
Their bottom corner.
We're gonna have to do something with the UI so you see your ID. That way, what we can do now between now and Thursday too is start with a file that, we already have an ID file, didn't we?
We do.
Yeah,
We
but
already-
that ID is for the cap.
Yes.
So what we need is a user, eventually you'll have your private key file. But before Thursday, what we can do is create an ID file for the client. If it's not
Okay.
there, we'll create it. That would also give everybody a unique ID with this before we start. Then you'd have to share with somebody what your ID is in order to talk to them,
Okay.
which is not a big deal. You have to do that now on blockchain if you want to send me, right?
Yeah.
We're not gonna like do name resolution stuff that's out there. So we got to show the. So let me go back to all the things that we just talked about here.
We need to put it in our notes.
We need notes here. Okay, so we're still gonna do that, but we're gonna finish that. So I need a client ID file with a UUID, and that's gonna be our, for now. We need to show the client ID in the client. We need a connect button for now, which is
For
gonna do
name.
nothing, and ask for name, and then that's how we'll associate a name for that session with the ID. That can always change. Or maybe we don't ask for name in the client ID. We could, well, when we get the private key, we're not gonna have that. Or are we gonna have that? Let's do this for now. In the client ID file, we will add a ID and name, okay? I think we could continue to use the ID file potentially even when we add the private public key stuff.
Okay.
Because if we read the file and your ID isn't matching what we know it should, we'll just correct the file.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So we'll have we'll create an ID file, and what we can do is hard code in there a funny name or something, and then every user is going to have to change that. The user has to control it anyway, so we don't have to ask. We don't have to prompt for a name. Okay?
Got it. Okay.
So if we don't have to prompt for a name, and we don't need a connect button, okay, what we'll do is file doesn't exist, we create it, okay? Create a new UUID for now, come up with your name thing, I don't know. Then we don't need a connect button. Well, let's just do this for now, okay? And then we need to show the client ID in the UI. And then you're gonna get the enter key working for submit. And we need to fix the submit button because I don't see it anymore. Submit word. It used to say submit.
Yeah.
If I run it locally, it does. So this is all under that. So we're gonna try to get all that working. Yeah. We're gonna get all that working. And then if we have these files locally, I don't need a connect button. When you start up, it will try to connect and it will do the handshake. And if we have this file, it will just save us time. It will just, and this can be a public file because it's gonna have a public ID, right? And a public name. But I'll show you how we create that with a private key later on,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
The file doesn't exist, we just create it. Then we can get rid of all the other hacks that we did with the IDs. You'll read it from the file. Once that ID won't change, so once I give it to you,
Yeah.
you're gonna be fine.
It's fine.
I would say we get rid of UUIDs at that point. Because we're not gonna be able to use a UUID when we do the other thing. It's gonna be a fixed length sort of
Yeah.
key, but we'll just,
And that'll be on stream when we do that part, removing UUIDs.
well, if we're gonna do you wanna do all this on, and then we still have some client refactoring to do. So let's say what we're gonna do off screen then. Let's say we do these two things off screen then. Okay, off screen. So for Thursday show, you're gonna you're going to do these two things. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to show the client ID. Oh no, at that point. Yeah. So this is what we're going to do off screen. Have a place to show the client ID. Just hard code it right now.
Yep.
Okay. Then get the enter key working for the submit. Okay. And then on Thursday, we'll come in and we'll make these final changes. So we'll create a client file. File doesn't create it.
We can move that up. The submit.
Yeah, you're going to do that. We'll do all that. And then we'll be able to work on decentralized auth. But if you have this already in the UI, just the display, this can be hard coded, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about getting the right one in right now.
Oh, okay. You just want the spot
Just
for it.
the spot for it, hard coded, and get the enter key working. If you can do those two things off screen, then this won't be very long on screen. And then we're set up sort of to do that.
Got it.
Is that fair?
Sounds good.
All right. Man, I was blaming our people for doing bad stuff when it was us. Okay. Updating notes. Git push. Okay. So that takes us now to the 20 minutes in. Okay. So not a bad day. Nasty little bugs because we moved code at the very last second.
Yep.
Always happens. We moved code and we didn't test.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, of course it's gonna work. Wow. And then a week goes by and you're like, I don't remember what I changed.
Yep.
Oh man. And the hard coding, we have to be more diligent when we're using Copilot to see if it's hard coding stuff. Because that was just nasty. And maybe it was hard coded before, but I didn't remember.
Me neither.
Okay, so I think we're good. For all of you that were hanging out for the last 2 hours, this is great. We will be back on Thursday. If you're new to the stream, everything's recorded on that YouTube channel.
Yep.
Just look up the Ardan Labs, go to playlists, and you'll see that as the first sort of playlist. You can catch up to where we are. And I hope we'll have some form of decentralized authentication on Thursday, but we'll definitely at least fix those things. And it's doing pretty good. All right, we're good. We're signing off.